Were you amongst the droves of women who experienced menstrual cycle irregularities, late periods, super heavy periods, missing periods, very light periods through for the month of July, and many of them are reporting similar for August as well. I don't know if you've heard, and I'm actually a little bit late, but the TikTok girlies have been talking about this topic for quite a while now, I guess since it first started to occur. And, this is one of those things where it's like, praise God for TikTok, because we wouldn't know that, this was going on such a large scale across the collective if we didn't have something like that to, voice our experiences on and also hear about the experiences of others. So shout out to TikTok for that one. But it made me want to definitely go live because I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. So thank you if, you are a regular subscriber. If not, you know what to do. Subscribe. I love subscribers. I love interactive members of the channel. So feel free to join and let me know if you're a new member. All right, so I can shout you out. But today, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this occurrence that has taken place that is an unprecedented occurrence that I want to make sure that we cover, in depth. Part of what I do here is just dialogue. In addition to being a holistic natural fibroid elimination herbalist, wellness expert, and whole body health expert, I also like to come on and just talk about things that apply to the collective, to you and I, that have to do with, our health and things that may affect that. So the topic is, in July, there's been a mass amount of crazy, unusual occurrences in women's menstrual cycles. And I would like to know if that included you. If you're watching this and, you notice some changes to your menstrual cycle, to your period, and you feel comfortable, let me know. Because, like I said, this is a community and I do want to create that platform and allow other people to see if someone else has been experiencing what they experience. I think it's very helpful because I feel like there's a lot of things going on these days where it's like wild card energy. I think I said that here on this platform a few years ago during the lockdown days and all that good stuff. It's wild card energy where you don't know what to expect. It's things that you may not have been prepared for are happening. So long story short, I just found out about this, by the way, and I was shocked to find out that there were many women who didn't have a period at all, and many who had a extra abnormally heavy period when they don't usually have those types of occurrences. Some women have reported that they're still waiting on their period to occur. So that's pretty interesting and jaw-dropping too. But I have a couple of videos and I'm going to clip them onto this video. And, I'll drop a link if that's possible because they're TikToks. But interesting perspectives. I have 3 different videos from 3 different vloggers that stated their own insight about this subject. And it shed 3 different POVs, right? Ways to look at the crazy month of July and period irregularities. And I have my own 2 cents that I'm going to put in here. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little synopsis of each of the videos. But one of them said she felt like this basically means the fact that all of these women are having these shared experiences and a lot of these similarities are a sign that the collective is going through a massive upgrade of wombs. A womb energy upgrade is happening across the collective of women. And I think that that is a refreshing way to look at it, a positive, right, way to interpret this topic, that has happened with so many women. A collective womb upgrade. Now, she also, I think, is somebody that is an astrologist, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I think she mentions some planetary alignment and planetary information that also kind of could go along with why this may happen, as well as the full moon. I'm not an expert in that subject, so like I said, I'll share the video. And, it's worth noting, they do say, even if you're not into the subject, that they also call the period a moon cycle. So, and by the way, I'm in the car and it is muggy and hot out here. I'm just going to do a little dab. Just a little dab. She mentioned something about the moon, the alignment of some of the planets, and I thought it could be pretty insightful way to interpret this major occurrence. Now, another woman came on, and she mentioned, I think, that her period was very heavy, heavier than normal, obviously. Oh, and that was the other thing. Some women, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, also got 2 periods. I think more people than not came on these videos and had said that they experienced 2 periods for the month of July. That was the biggest symptom or occurrence, irregularity, if you will, that most women seem to report. 2 periods for the month of July. Crazy, right? So I think this lady may have experienced 2 or just very heavy. I don't really remember. You'll have to go check the video out. But she mentioned another insightful, very interesting fact as well, which is why we love TikTok. She mentioned the Mayan calendar and July 25th being something called a day out of time. I'm going to clip what a day out of time means. Okay? Hold that thought. When consulting ChatGPT, I got this response that the day out of time is a concept from the 13 moon or dream spell calendar created by Jose Arguel in the 90s. It serves as a day of celebration, reflection, and artistic expression. What I found interesting about this is the 13 moon calendar is comprised of 13 months with 28 days each, totaling 364 days. July 25th would be the 365th day, hence giving meaning to the title that they've given it as the day out of time. And I think that relates beautifully to this subject because it's almost like things paused, or menstrual cycles have that irregularity because it's a sign or a clue to the argument of being out of time. I mean, it even says right here, it encourages people to step out of linear time and connect with natural cycles. That's not a coincidence. This woman, this creator, mentioned her cycle and the irregularities with her cycle in July happening around that day. So that was really insightful and really relevant, I think, because that day out of time it only happens in the month of July on the 25th. Now, I have heard of that day. I've heard of this observance, but I've not experienced, nor have I heard of so many women saying that they experienced menstrual cycle irregularities in July ever until this year. So I think more research is definitely warranted, but I do think there is some grounds to do some more research in that direction. I think I feel like, we're on to something if we go deeper into researching that topic from that creator's assertion. Now, the third woman mentioned another point of view. Very interesting. She said that she had just found out about all the menstrual cycle irregularities from creators on TikTok. I think she herself also mentioned that she experienced them herself. I think. I'm not sure. But I was more focused on, the data, the information she brought to the table. She took to the internet to do some research based on the locations of where the majority of women who said they experienced these menstrual cycle irregularities resided. And she derived that the majority of them were located in Mississippi and Alabama. Don't quote me, just go watch the video. But long story short, she went and researched headlines and occurrences in the media that had taken place in those areas where the majority of women she was able to find had said, hey, I had period irregularities in July. And she found that there was a train derailment and a chemical spill in the Mississippi Delta. And I'll screenshot so you can see, the date. But the spill had to do with a chemical known as benzene. And she even went so far, very, very smart. But she went and did the research on what the side effects are for exposure to that type of a chemical. And, basically some of the main things were that it was an endocrine disruptor and that it was toxic and it had all these side effects that it could cause to people who had been exposed to it. And some of them were exactly what a lot of these women have been saying they have been experiencing, like menstrual cycle irregularities, low estrogen, no estrogen, and even worse symptoms, right? Could be a result of exposure to this dangerous toxin, even unfortunately being unalived, right? So her video was also a really cool, much, I think, needed perspective on what could also be going on, because as much as I would love it to be about a upgrade, right, to the collective, we also need to be aware and be taking action to keep ourselves safe. We need to be protected and make sure we are moving accordingly, being that we don't really know definitively what the true nature is for why this massive occurrence has taken place within the womb collective. And for that reason, I have a couple of things that I would like to share now from me to you if you are somebody who experienced irregular, crazy menstrual cycle symptoms in the month of July. Okay? Basically, sis, I want to tell you that you really need to be easy and extra loving and caring to yourself during these times, because to me, it seems like things are happening and a lot more is going on beneath the surface, right? There's more to this situation than meets the eye. It could be great. It could be good. It may be, like I said, there's a lot of changes going on interdimensionally. The earth has been moving into different vibrational frequencies. I mean, I didn't even check the Schumann resonance. Does anybody know about that, or have you, checked that recently? That may also give some insight. Maybe I'll do that and see if I notice any patterns. Not that I'm the expert on that, because I'm not. And but just to say, vibrationally, we could be being upgraded, right? We could be going to another plane interdimensionally. But, you got to be obviously open to looking at the world through that type of a lens. Quantum, we really need to take extra care and extra measures to protect our bodies and our temples during these times. Okay? We don't really know what caused it. So my motto in general, we already know, is always be detoxing. Always be detoxing. ALL, ways be detoxing, and ALWAYS, always be detoxing. As far as this subject goes, whatever you're doing, if you're on this channel, you should already be aware that detoxification is a necessary part and aspect of our daily life and our lifestyle changes to support natural fibroid elimination and natural hormone balance and overall womb wellness. If you are not, if you're new to this subject, then I would encourage you and suggest that you begin to adopt a regular, easy way that you can be detoxing your body, detoxing your temple, supporting your body to expel any endocrine disruptors, xenoestrogens, harmful toxins that you might be unknowingly exposed to through the air, through the water. We want to cover all bases. So one of the things that we could take away from this is that something could have been in the air, something could have been in the waters that many of us could have been unknowingly been exposed to. And for that reason, we want to make sure we are supporting liver detox, cleansing our blood, womb detoxing. And right off the bat, I can immediately say milk thistle tea for liver detox, dandelion root for liver detox, castor oil packs for liver detox, also castor oil packs laid over your womb and abdomen for reproductive womb detox. You can put castor oil in your belly button. Consuming cilantro in your juices and in your foods, right, to help your body chelate, expel heavy metals is another excellent thing. You really want to be eating your cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, your cauliflower, Swiss chard, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, arugula, cabbage. Those are things that are going to go in and help your liver to do its best work at protecting you, keeping you safe, and expelling the junk, the toxins out of your body. Get outside. Get outside, get amongst those trees. One of the easiest things that we overlook and leave out of our routine to shrink fibroids is incorporating nature into our day in some way. And one of my favorite things is to go out and just be amongst the trees. Immerse your body into the atmosphere, the air, in a heavily wooded area, because that is going to go in and reharmonize your magnetic field. It's going to cleanse the parts of you and your aura that you cannot see. We have mental, physical, spiritual bodies. We also have additional bodies, but that's a deeper discussion. But when you go and you're amongst the trees and you're in the woods, there are things called ions. And it's flipped when we talk about ions and what's good and bad, right? Positive ions are not good to have. Negative ions are good to have. So when we go out amongst the trees, right, if we have a lot of toxic energy around us, if we've been around people that are toxic, if we've exposed ourselves too much to toxic television, music, toxic points of view, toxic people, toxic situations, toxic workplace environments, right? If we've been on an airplane too long, right? Enclosed in a small space with a bunch of strangers, people's energy begin to coalesce, right? You don't know who may be trying to attach to your energy or what. That is what we're talking about here. But it can also be as simple as toxic dust from chemtrails or from clouds, right? Toxic dust from exhaust or working near a chemical plant. those things can affect your non-physical aspects of yourself just as much as eating toxic processed foods. And you begin to carry that gunk around with you. The best way and easiest way that I recommend and I love to reharmonize your body, your non-physical and physical bodies, is to go out and immerse yourself in nature. Be amongst the trees. Because the trees have that high vibrational oxygenated air energy. They have their own aura, right? They have their own existence in the physical and non-physical. Just as much as we see a tree and see a tree trunk, that tree is radiating with this positive, good, cleansing, healing energy. That parts of those trees will go onto your non-physical body and the trees remove the positive ions. But when you immerse yourself in nature, when you go amongst the trees, they cleanse all of that off. And that's why, if you have not experienced that, when you're out in nature around the trees, when you're barefoot on grass that doesn't have, waste or trash on it, obviously, check before you go stepping. But you feel grounded. You get a good feeling from that, right? Because you've grounded and reset, reharmonized, recalibrated, balanced your energy. In addition to eating organic, in addition to making sure that we are eating wild caught fish, if we eat fish, we also need to challenge ourselves to reconnect with nature, to reground our energy and cleanse our non-physical energetic bodies, right? To cleanse our magnetic field, to cleanse the negative energies off, we need to go get into nature. And even with exposure to these toxic potential exposure, because we don't really know what caused it. But these types of things allow us to have that reset when we were not even aware that we were in need of that type of a reset or reharmonization. Usually you may go about your day, about your week, things happen, some things are good, some things are bad. But if you challenge yourself to connect with nature a lot more often, I, from personal experience, have found that you have a lot more high vibrational situations, a lot more high vibrational resolutions to any not so good occurrences and situations that you may face throughout your week. So get in contact with nature. Now, another reason that you're going to want to return to nature and involve yourself in nature, involve nature in some of your activities every day, is because, like I said, there's so many things happening right now that we have no control over. And there's a lot more going on potentially than we can see with our eyes. We need to be able to discern and see with our spiritual, our third eye. We need to really be able to the best of our ability right now, more than ever, be able to intuit, right? I gave you 3 perspectives on why these menstrual cycle irregularities occurred from 3 different creators. And then I actually gave you 4 because I kind of gave you my own and I'm giving you my own now. You need to be able to do that for your own safety in the times that we are in, right? The best way that you're going to be able to do that is to keep your mind, your mindset protected. Keep your vibration high by eating high vibrational, natural living foods so that your vibration is high, so you're able to discern on a higher frequency. You're able to see through illusions. You're able to intuitively decode what you need to in these times so that you survive, you thrive, and you avoid any negative potential landmines that may be happening nowadays, right? Like I said, we don't know really why this is happening, why this has occurred, and we don't know if it's going to happen again. But you would like to know, hey, how do I need to proceed if usually I have a very regular menstrual cycle and now it's unmanageable, very heavy, and it's causing me a lot of inconvenience and causing me a lot of discomfort. I need to know how to proceed. I need to know, hey, what do you do for an irregular period? Or I need to know what I should do for a very light period. What kinds of things can I involve and incorporate into my daily routine, my foods, my herbal protocol? What kind of foods do I need to avoid so that I can navigate and find my homeostasis again now that I've been thrown, you know, this curveball? We don't know why it's happened. Some things we don't have direct control over. Like I said, we could be moving on Earth interdimensionally to a higher field of existence. That's something we have no control over that. We just know that our bodies, because, sometimes we are misled to only look at our existence from a very three-dimensional perspective. But when things like this occur, it reminds you, hey, there's more going on here than what we've been led to believe. I am more than just a woman, girl, lady that is working on being the best content creator or working on being the best attorney or the best realtor or the best entrepreneur, right? I am more than that. I'm also a living soul. I also have spiritual bodies, mental bodies that are having very real experiences in conjunction with what's going on in the realm that we are in that has very physical repercussions that manifest in my physical body. And I need to know how to move and how to proceed. And the only way that you are going to know that, goddess, is for you specifically to make sure that you are listening. You can hear your own intuition or your own womb speak. You need to be able to discern. So you need to be making sure you are nourished. You are guarding your gates, eyes, ears, mouth, nose, anything that can enter your body. Make it high vibrational. Anything that is low vibrational does not enter your temple in these times. And that includes relationships. If it's not rooted in true, divinely harmonious love on both sides, right? Don't involve yourself in it because it's going to cause an energy drain and lower your vibration. And that's going to pull you into a spiral of focusing on that when you need to be clear and at peace and supported so that you can discern what is best for you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, herbally, as far as your diet, whatever, fill in the blank in these times. Okay? High vibrational music. Do the best you can with that, right? I teach dance fitness, so, sometimes some of the hip hop songs are not the best, but I definitely listen to the edited versions. And, most of the time I'm not listening to that. I'm listening to jazz or I'm listening to classical. Find things to enlighten yourself with musically that are of high frequency. The sounds that they have, the songs on YouTube, videos, music where it's certain amount of hertz. I think that's right. The hertz measurement, 432, I think is the measurement. I'll double check that. Find some YouTube videos, some meditations, and, immerse yourself into some of those to keep your frequency high and to feed and support your connection, your intuition, right? Work on that in these times. Work on that and nourish your womb. Nourish your womb, nourish your period. Someone mentioned on one of the videos a great herb for your cycle and for irregular periods being guava leaf. Get you some guava leaf. Sip on guava leaf tea. Raspberry leaf is wonderful for womb and reproductive system nourishment. But there are plenty of others. Nettles are excellent for womb wellness. Do your research on all of these, by the way. Now, for menstrual cycle irregularities, for some, not all, Vitex chasteberry may help you regulate your cycle. Again, it's not a one size fits all, but those are a few suggestions. Now, if you're having a light period, no period, you may want to look into some Dong Quai or Dong Quai, however you want to pronounce it. Do check and make sure, experiment with a small amount. If you have issues with heavy bleeding, it could intensify that a little bit, but you want to check. It's good if you are, to normalize irregular periods. If the cycle is missing, it does help. And I have plenty of others. So if you know for sure that some of these are not going to work for you and you would like help determining which herbs are good for you during this time or just in general, reach out to me for a consultation. I am running a special on my hour consultations. I've lowered the price back to the early days. It's $150. So take advantage of that. Book one or as many as you would like during this time while they're discounted. All right. And of course, I do also have spots in my 90-day private fibroid coaching program. You do have to interview first to make sure we would be a good fit to work together. But reach out to me and we can go into pricing and get you onboarded for that as well. Now, speaking of herbs, I always have my Bifibroids tea available, and I'm excited to blend that up for you. And I'll also have my 2-week fibroid formula tea bag cleanse that I also have available as well. It's more reproductive system specific, focuses primarily on the reproductive system, but definitely get that too. Now, something else that everyone can get and benefit from during this time, no matter if you have fibroids, PCOS, or if you don't have any of that, it could be for men, women, and children, that I also supply and I do recommend, is sea moss. Sea moss, you can get it dry, you can get it in the gel, but it is available. I do ship. Now, if you are, don't want to get the gel and you'd rather make it yourself, I do sell it, dry as well. But basically, I really recommend sea moss right now because when you take it in, it's raising your alkalinity and bringing that natural seaweed, sea vegetable energy into your temple. And it applies across so many systems and ailments for everybody. It is a great way to nourish your cells, and it is a wonderful way to raise your vibration and harmonize your mental, physical, energetic, and spiritual bodies. Get those sea vegetables into your temple monthly. You should definitely be ordering sea moss or making it yourself once a month. So I do recommend that. It's detoxifying and it's also nourishing. It has, everybody knows that sea moss has 92 of the minerals that, I think 102 minerals is what the body requires. Sea moss gel has 92. So it's a wonderful way to make sure your cells are fed, that you are nourished, your systems are fully supported so that you can effectively hear intuitively. Get your orders in for that. Now, when you order sea moss, they are herbal infused sea moss gels. So you can get plain or you can get the Green Machine sea moss gel, which has spirulina, black maca, moringa, wheatgrass powder, these types of detoxifying, oxygenating, green chlorophyll rich, powerhouse herbs and supplements mixed in. I also have another one called Iron Butterfly. And that one is amazing because it has a lot of iron. It's got blackstrap molasses, and it's going to be great for any of my goddesses who are dealing with anemia. I have other options as well. You'll need to go onto my website, and I will drop the link to my website underneath this video. But definitely do not miss out on hitting up my shop and getting some of these products to help protect your temple and keep your vibrations high. All right. Let me know if this topic was relevant to you, if you found it interesting at the very least. Like I said, I would like to know, and other people who are experiencing this, it helps to know if there's someone else who may be going through what they're going through. And that's one of the reasons that I created this platform. So I will be back with another video, and it's good to see you. And, let me know. Let me know if you'd like me to cover any topics or you have any questions. All right. I will talk to you soon. Make sure you have subscribed. Make sure you like this video. Feel free to share it. Head over to Instagram and follow me over there at OP Fibroid Freedom. And then on TikTok, it's 333.Cecily. Okay? I will see you soon. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Keep your vibration high. Peace.